needed to maybe change their game plan just a little bit and maybe put less focus on this Ardent Supremacy, banning away Grace and the Baron ban to follow that as well. And now Supremacy, they actually have the option to pick up the Grumpjaw themselves.
They better take the Grumpjaw here for sure. And there we go. Grumpjaw is taken. So super exciting. Hopefully they play Weapon Grumpjaw because he's just much better, I feel, than CP. CP does work though. He's really strong early and mid game, but tends to fall off late game because he gets outscaled by other heroes in jungle. So now SK has Lyra open. They may first pick that Lyra. They may opt for taking Samuel to secure it for Tyrus. So we'll see what they decide here. They are going to have a pick with the Ardent here, and I think they should ban Lyra. So I think SK is probably going to ban Lyra here. If they don't and give that over to Supremacy, they're asking for trouble. There we go.
They'll be making the same mistake that was made against them in the last draft. They are going to ban the Lyra though, so learning from Supremacy's own mistakes. And now looking towards the side of Supremacy with this ban, where do you go? What do you want to deny from SK moving forward?
I feel like you want to take away something like a Baptiste or a Samuel, like something that can deal with the Grumpjaw towards the mid to later stages of the game. It's those two I think are probably some of the bread and butters for SK Gaming. Obviously Samuel very much is, because both Kvalifar and Tyrus can play that extremely well. So I'm liking that ban just because it takes it away from both players on SK.
The thing is, though, Baptiste is still open, and that's Tyra's second played hero. And I believe there was like a tweet from someone or something saying, like, I am terrified of Tyra's Baptiste. Like, he is very, very strong in the Baptiste.
Yeah, Baptiste could work, but if Grumpjaw engages, he actually out-damages Baptiste and can blow him up. So they're going to actually go with the Weapon Glaive here, which is actually really smart. Again, into Grumpjaw, you want to pick more tanky carries. Like you pick like a Vox or Ringo, they're way too squishy. So this is a really good a warrior pick. He does a lot of damage. He can stand his ground against Grumpjaw. And if they last pick a Rhyme into this, they're going to completely counter Grumpjaw. So let's see what Supremacy is going to come with. There's Vox still open, Blackfeather. They're going to go with Blackfeather. I'm hoping they go with CP Blackfeather here and keep that as a weapon Grumpjaw. And end with, for example, maybe Fortress potentially. Finn are all good picks here. They might go with Adagio though. They tend to pick Adagio as a captain. So let's see what it turns out. What do you think, Bacon?
I think Adagio would be a very good pick for them. Being able to have that extra sustain for both of these heroes is incredibly strong. It's something that I feel a lot of teams have kind of moved away from a little bit. We haven't seen a whole lot of Adagio over the first 2 weeks, but when we have seen it, it's usually been very, very strong.
Yeah, we've seen like smatterings of it. Certain teams definitely seem to favor it. And I mean, obviously in North America, we've seen it in the carry position a couple of times as well, but less of it in the captain role for sure.
So just to go back to that Baptiste, as it is going to be the Adagio coming through. But I got curious and looked up Tyra's in his solo queue, his ranked games. He is currently sitting on a 96% win rate for Baptiste in ranked games. So I would absolutely love to see that pick come through here for him. I think it does really well into the Grumpjaw. Blackfeather, not so much, but being able to just throw that Ordained or the Fear onto Grumpjaw whenever he tries to engage is a really strong utility to have.
Yeah, I think Baptiste or Rhyme would be the best pick. Rhyme is actually the best pick here. It completely counters Adagio. Adagio's easy pickings for Rhyme to get his fortified health and lock him down and blow him up. And Rhyme is actually really good against Grumpjaw. But like I said, they're going to go with the CP Kestrel and play the range game here.
Yeah, so looking to... and also, not only the range game, not only the poke, but also with the glaive, you can really set up to blow up one specific target and start a fight up right. We'll see whether they can do that. Is that going to be their win condition then, moving forward, looking at these drafts? Is that how SK will move forward, is just trying to get a singular pick?
The Kestrel is actually a really smart pick. It's because you have the engage from Blackfeather and Grumpjaw that are both going to be trying to dive onto you. As soon as they start the movement, you pop into an active camo, they're going to end their movement more often than not inside the active camo field. And you can then just blow them up in an instant. We've seen how much burst Crystal Kestrel can do. It's really good at securing camps in the early game as well. So we'll be able to do pretty good against making sure they don't get invaded and don't get destroyed in the early game jungle that Grumpjaw's going to want to take.
Okay, what about Supremacy then? How do they go about evening up this series?
Yeah, they gotta be able to steal the camps because Grumpjaw will be invading. Or actually, they need to invade as Grumpjaw Adagio and make sure that Kestrel doesn't get those camps, so their invades are worth it. And just snowball the early game. Exactly how SK did to them, they need to do the same back in this game.
All right, well, we'll see if they can achieve that as they move forward in this game and in this series. Can this be a 1-1? We'll find out. Make sure to let us know who you are going to be supporting in this game using that hashtag Vainglory. Get involved on Twitter. Get in that conversation. And as well, if you tweet any good pictures, we will be featuring those on the stream across the course of today and tomorrow. But it's about time we head on into this game. SK Gaming looking for a 2-0. And they've got that Grumpjaw against them, though. Supremacy, they're going to be trying to shut down this SK hype train. Let's see what Best Chuck has to say about the man.
I think the player that I'm looking forward to lane against the most is Cavalifar, just because I think out of all the carry players, he has the most unique playstyle and choice of hero selection.
Very much, guys, over on the desk, and quite an insightful video. And I gotta say, SK looking pretty strong right now. Perfect game in game number 1. Game number 2 is on the fold right now. And can Supremacy come back?
It's honestly going to be challenging, I think. They're playing against Tyrus on this Kestrel, which is one of his very comfortable picks. It's not like his Samuel, right, which everyone knows him for, but he's definitely strong on the pick. Also, Cavalifar's lane glaive is a thing that we see a lot from him, or have seen a lot from him, and very little from anyone else. I don't know if you necessarily have a good idea of how to play against that. A lot of the time, you just don't see it coming. So SK has some edges here very early in this game, just from the draft, that Supremacy need to deal with. Plus, is Convoy's Grumpjaw going to perform anything near Tyrus's? We just don't know yet. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on him. Also curious to see how Adagio does. It's not a big pick right now. It's a lot of question marks here for Supremacy.
That it is. I mean, Convoy, can he do as well as Tyrus can? Or did even. Him taking away some of those camps. He's actually going to spot them out now. And now Raph has got a little something to say about Godfather. Tyra is just raining those glimmer shots down through 2 members of Supremacy. They're going to chase them up as well. Convoy really hasn't got an answer to this. Okay, they might just find themselves with first blood if they're not, well, if Supremacy aren't careful. Convoy taking a fair bit of damage in this front line. Now Godfather is split off from him. SK, they're going to find it. One last glimmer shot will secure him first blood. Convoy escapes alone, but Cavalifar is going to stun him. Afterbird, there comes Raph. Tyrus comes through with the double kill, and already SK off to kind of a mirrored start from game number 1.
I like that they gave the kill there to Tyrus as well. I don't think Cavalifar is really the one you want to give a lot of the kills to this game. Tyrus is going to be carrying you, especially early on. You know, Grumpjaw, sure, you can do a lot of really great invades, no doubt. But if you're going into a Kestrel, it's kind of bold, to be honest. Like, Kestrel is very, very good at dishing out damage early in the game. It was, I think, greedy to make that play when they did. As a result, SK 2-0 up very quickly here, have a huge edge if they want to, for example, fight over an Elder Treant sometime soon.
Exactly what they want to do, just extend that gold lead like they did before. I mean, their ability to control the jungle early on is kind of paramount to what Supremacy had in their last game. Raph in a little bit of trouble. Convoy just can't make anything so. I mean, especially with this Arden, you got to say, it's especially coming up against Grumpjaw in the early game, it's very tough for that Grumpjaw to lock someone down if he doesn't automatically kill somebody. Waldemar underneath the turret. Balafar with the replacement of the Black Feather just secures himself his own kill.
Yeah, it's always kind of tough to lane against a glaive for this reason. Firstly, you can't find kills.
Oh my goodness,
man.
That was cheeky. Tyrus! Where did that come from? Cavalifar's going to be here as well. That's enough to burn on Khan. He's going to make his way out of the fight and come back to his base. And now Godfather is trying to go on the run as well. But SK are just going to chase him up. They're going to take away their front healing camp. That will go over to Tyrus. They're 4-1 with a 1,500 gold lead in 4 minutes. Exactly what happened in game number 1. And would it happen in game number 2, AJ?
Honestly, I would bet you that this game gets even more out of control than Game 1. The reason being that there are so many ways for SK to snowball rather than just kind of having Tyrus on Grumpjaw as the playmaker. Like last game we had Samuel for Kvalifar, right? Like how do you make plays on that hero? Sure, you might find favorable trades in lane and that opens the map up, but that's not the same thing as making a play. Kvalifar can make plays this game. Tyrus can make plays this game. Raph could probably set them up to make plays this game. So it's different. You know, everyone has the ability to set the pace here from SK. I think they're showing that already, and things are getting very out of control very quickly.
I think that's a good way of putting it. We are 0-4 with Tyrus with 3 of those kills. So that's a little bit of an understatement again, AJ. You've got to pluck up your analysis right now. Is apparently what's happening with SK, or Supremacy even. They're understating SK right at this very moment. The counter-aggression from them is beautiful, and Carnboy hasn't had the same performance, no, but when he hits that level 6 mark, if he can make those hangry stick, might be a different story.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing Convoy have, you know, the same level of pressure that Tyrus did last game. You need to be jumping on people and blowing them up. Currently, also very relevantly, he's not going a similar build. And I gotta question that a little bit. Like, playing a Weapon Power Blackfeather, sure, I think this is probably one of the better lanes you can pick against a Glaive. Oh, hold up.
On a second, yeah, Waldemar's in a lot of trouble. Was that even worth handing over to? Really?
You know, it's a thing. I want to make sure
might as well.
Get a chance to talk.
Supremacy aren't getting a chance to talk. I'm telling you that right now. Turret's going to go down. SK going to secure that one in 6 minutes. And remember, at 9 minutes in the game, they were 7k gold ahead. 6 minutes, they're at 3k. So they're on track to repeat their performance.
So let's talk about builds real quick before more fighting happens. Waldemar's going Weapon Power, which is fine, I think, in the lane against a Glaive, so long as you have vision to stop these ganks from happening. But I really don't feel like Grumpjaw with this build is equivalent to the build we saw from Tyrus last game. Last game we saw Tyrus go Weapon Power. That's why he was able to do so much damage. This game is going proc. What is he setting up for? And where's the follow-up? It's not going to happen anytime soon. I think they're setting themselves up to get kind of... they're setting themselves up to have a fight get out of control early in the game, and for things to be too much. We are having the on pause. Here's the engagement.
Oh, speaking of getting out of control, Waldemar can't do anything in this fight. Has to back off already. There goes the hangry straight over the wall from Khan. Stuff is not, well, it is available to him. Tyrus on the sidelines. He doesn't spot though. Glimmer shot is going to find its mark. It's going to kill Godfather off. Godfather's going to have to lay to rest. No horses in anybody's beds today. His head is just firmly planted on the ground.
Yep, and that's back camps being stolen away, sentry taken. SK Gaming got basically everything that they possibly could out of that play. I think Supremacy, their avenue back into this is to turtle really hard for the late game. Because later in the game, they've got potentially counter-engage tools with Adagio. They've got the Stuffed as a counter-engage tool, and that buys time for Waldemar to really ramp up with like a breaking point later on the Blackfeather. Right now, if they fight, there's literally no way they win a fight unless, I guess, they burst Tyrus, which isn't going to happen. So just don't fight. Just wait.
Don't fight, wait. AJ's perfect advice. Raph did actually just go into the belly of Grumpjaw, but still Godfather is going to be the first to fall. They traded 1-for-1. Finally, a kill on the board, but Tyrus is going to get chased out here. Khan finally gets his revenge. Ends up taking off Tyrus off the map. 4-1 and 2 with Kvalifar left alone underneath that turret. There's the ace, and Supremacy finally getting some notches on their belt. Oh, Waldemar.
No way. They win a fight.
Oh, okay. Whew. That was
yeah,
close.
I got to eat my words a little bit. That was kind of a big misplay from SK, though, to the credit of the point I was making. Raph, he might look for Waldemar here. Oh, no.
Raph.
Man.
Yeah, he's secured himself a kill. Well, second one even. He's maybe looking for Khan as well. He's level 6. That gauntlet earlier on. Didn't manage to seal the win. Healing camp, but hey, you got yourself another kill.
All right, so let's break down what went wrong in that fight and how things got to where they did. Tyrus did not have the best positioning. He didn't have anyone between him and the opponents, which meant that Convoy could jump on top of him. And now that he's got a Stormguard banner, damage is a bit more respectable. Also, Raph letting himself get eaten like that was definitely pretty game-breaking for the fight, because his team couldn't do anything whilst he was in the stuffed, and Kvalifar had taken too much damage before his team even arrived. Waldemar, this time, Jaws, I've learned my lesson. No point in passing over there. Goes way too quickly.
He's just dead.
Ultimately, I think the thing that you need to take away from that past fight is that just because you should not lose a fight doesn't mean you can't if you position poorly. And very, very much that was the case. I like Godfather using his verse there, by the way, to clear the wave. That was something they needed to do, lest the turret be taken down very quickly. But SK, they can rotate for the sentry if they want to here.
Could very well do that. I mean, they eliminated the sentry in about 14 minutes more. They're going to go for another fight here. Afterburn away from Kvalifar. There goes the Gauntlet down. Tyra's doing a buttload of damage in the front lines here. Convoy now on Raph, and we do have Kvalifar on top of Godfather. Khan's going to be the first one to fall. Godfather to follow. Ace for SK. Only just. They take the sentry, and they look like they're just going to take the turret as well.
That's more like what we should be expecting from SK. They position quite smartly. They used Tyrus's stealth to mess up the positioning of Supremacy. Raph did not die too quickly, and Kvalifar played with his mobility. Here comes another opportunity for Supremacy, though. They do find that eat.
Oh, hello, Kvalifar. Does Afterburn away. Does get the stun on Waldemar. It doesn't matter, though, it seems, because Khan's going to chase this one up. Raph has to use his boost to get away, but Kvalifar, with the damage, with the DPS, has managed to take out one. Godfather, you're not long left for the world, my friend, is going to end up falling as well. SK with their third turret on the board, and Khan almost going down to that one-shot, one-kill. That would have been an insult to injury. We are 11 minutes in the game. 5k in the lead for SK. Not as big as it was in game number 1, with inches to climb for SK, but miles for Supremacy.
All right, SK at this point, the game is close to on lock. They just picked up 3 big items: War Treads, Clockwork, and a Sara Blade. That is a lot of, strength right now. There's a spike here for SK that they definitely need to abuse. I'd say, sure, take a gold mine. After that, just pressure turrets. They probably can win a fight under the double turrets from Supremacy, so long as they use Crucible to stop stuff from landing onto any key targets.
Stuff is going to have to be used on Tyras, I can imagine. It's the only real target they want to get rid of, and then they can isolate Kvalifar and maybe take him out of the fight. Speaking of get taken out, that will be the gold miner going over to SK. And now Tyra's maybe looking for a little something more. Here's Waldemar, here's the damage, here's the glimmer shots. There we go, you're dead. See you later. Burst of Judgment is just going to get blocked. That gauntlet was beautiful. Khan's going to hit the dust as well. Godfather is not long to follow. It's my favorite film, but it's making it look like a horror movie right now.
So a lesson to be learned from that exchange was don't back without vision in the middle of nowhere against a Kestrel and a Glaive and an Arden. It's a bad plan. You don't want to do that. Waldemar got blown up before he could even react. Then when he did, it was way too late. Supremacy, they gave up a lot of the map there. That's the final sentry life taken down by SK. Honestly, SK are being more measured and more cautious than arguably they need to. But when you can have this kind of a stranglehold on the opponent's jungle, it does really stop them from getting any resources. It's a fine play. It's just a very safe way of taking this game home.
Game home is exactly what's on their minds. There's 17 kills for SK right now. A despairing gold lead. Active camo traps being set up. Tyrus has got his sights set on the victory. Godfather's going to have to escape very, very fast. Nice sidestep, but you sidestep straight into Kvalifar's Icy Mace. They're going to be able to take him out. Waldemar's next on the menu as well. Convoy trying to take out some of those shots. He would take about half his HP in those shots. Look at those crits as well coming through for Kvalifar, ripping through the turrets. SK are on the second to last turret in the game. Kvan is going to devour the Kvalifar. He's just going to knock back and afterburn away, though. Khan just cannot take a break. There's the one-shot, one-kill to finish off that last turret. The Gauntlet is going to get laid down once more. Tyra's on the sidelines here. Khan is going to fall again. Waldemar trying to make some damage stick, but I'm not sure it's going to work. Godfather, what are you doing in there, my friend? Kvalifar is just slicing and dicing through 3 members, and that will be Supremacy falling for the ace. A triple kill for Kvalifar. 10-1 and 9-1. SK Gaming are just absolutely demolishing, and they take the game and the series handily over Supremacy.
Supremacy have a lot of work to do going into week number 4 if they want to start putting points on the scoreboard. Their drafts need to improve. Their play in-game needs to improve as well. SK, on the other hand, definitely look like they're moving from strength to strength. Their drafts are getting better. They're playing very confidently and very assertively. I'm excited to see what they can bring tomorrow and if they can go a bit further than they did last week.